No matter where you live on this planet, you likely experience some form of natural disaster. Variations in climate and geography can lead to drastically different types of extreme weather, but perhaps the most interesting of all are tornadoes. Tornadoes come in all shapes and sizes and can range from small and harmless to massive and deadly. No matter the case, it's always awe-inspiring to see one with your own eyes. Now, with everyone having a camera in their pocket, we can get a glimpse into one of the most destructive forces of nature from the comfort of our own home from all over the America. Here are 5 monster tornadoes that were caught on camera. Chasing storms and tornadoes has always seemed like an incredibly amazing job to have. These scientists and meteorologists play a very important part in understanding how tornadoes work. Their observations and scientific readings have carved the paths for early warning systems to be put into place, thereby giving people enough time to get to shelter, all while capturing an incredible moment on film. This was the case in February of early 2021. While driving through the state of Missouri, this group of chasers picked up some bad weather on their radar. Knowing it could spawn a twister, they drove straight for the storm. Their instincts were correct, and they witnessed a tornado form. Looking upwards, they could see the winding column of air reach thousands of feet into the clouds above.
Hey, dust devil behind us! Yep. Oh my God! Where's my phone?
After seeing that video, it's fair to say that they were a bit too close. However, even though the twister did move a little closer, it did not cross their path. After this video was shot, they continued to pursue the tornado. Eventually, dropping a probe, they were able to get a direct hit, which yielded some amazing results on everything from wind speed to barometric pressure. Luckily, in this case, the tornado only tore up the earth. There was no structural damage, nor were there any injuries. However, as you're about to see, things don't always turn out this way. It is always interesting to see the storms that spawn tornadoes. Yes, they sometimes vary in intensity, but the worst storms are usually the ones that produce the largest number of tornadoes. Even from a distance, you can get a good idea of how destructive a storm can be and whether or not it has the potential to form a tornado. In April of 2014, an alert went out over the radio that a tornado warning had been issued for central Arkansas. No, they had stopped just short of driving into the tornado, which was only about a half-mile up the road. The central states of the United States are known as Tornado Alley. The majority of the world's tornadoes occur here because a perfect combination of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, warm, dry air from Arizona, and cold, dry air from the Rocky Mountains converge, generating some of the most volatile weather on the planet. There are a few states that sit just on the outskirts of Tornado Alley where not as many twisters strike, but when they do, they can be just as powerful. On June 6, 2018, the state of Wyoming was recovering from an EF3 tornado that had touched down, damaging structures and putting residents on edge. Little did anyone know, they weren't out of the woods yet. Another severe thunderstorm rolled through the town of Laramie in Albany County, Wyoming, and generated yet another EF3 tornado. Home video, taken by one of the residents, shows this massive twister, which traveled for a distance of 11 miles and lasted for roughly 53 minutes. It was even strong enough to spawn a separate EF2 tornado just 2 miles south. Although it only traveled for half a mile, it stayed on the ground for 22 minutes. Given the low population density in this area, it makes sense that there was little damage done. However, the second tornado was strong enough to lift a garage off its foundation. Teams of researchers found galvanized steel utility poles bent 90 degrees at the base and wooden power poles snapped in half. In the end, the trail left by the tornado was measured at 1/3 of a mile wide. Hurricanes and tornadoes share some similarities in that they both produce incredibly devastating wind. The obvious difference is the size of each. Hurricanes can be hundreds of miles across, while tornadoes can only be a couple of 100 feet across. Although there are instances where tornadoes have been over a mile wide, while a tornado may be smaller in size, they can produce much higher winds, sometimes reaching upwards of 300 miles per hour. These winds are strong enough to tear through structures, just as we'll see in this video. The central area of the United States is the most active place in the world for tornadoes. On a May afternoon in 2013, which is near the end of tornado season, residents in this rural part of Oklahoma were preparing for a severe weather system. Soon, an all-too-common sight appeared, a twister. As the cameraman was driving, he was able to get a good view of the chaos that was unfolding. The white funnel, which was estimated to be around an EF2 tornado, was tearing along the countryside. Then things took a turn for the worse as the tornado hit a house.
Look at the trees down there. Oh, there goes a house. Oh, that.
The driver watched helplessly as the twister passed by a house, tearing it to pieces. It looked as if the house had simply fallen apart. The incredible winds tore every piece of wood as if it were paper. Large chunks of debris flew through the air as if they would never hit the ground again. As far as we can tell, nobody was injured in this event. However, it is clear to see that if anyone was inside the house at the time the twister struck, there was a very real risk of serious injury or death. This video gives great insight into just how powerful even a smaller tornado can be. The state of Indiana sees its fair share of tornadoes as well, because the southern part of the state is located just to the east of the Appalachian mountain range. They catch a good amount of the cold air that blows across those peaks when the jet stream carries north and allows some of the warmer air from the Gulf of Mexico to travel that far. The result can be some incredibly violent tornadoes. On March 2nd, 2012, a line of incredibly powerful thunderstorms rolled through the town of Memphis, Indiana, just about 15 miles north of Louisville, Kentucky. These storms were powerful enough to spawn a few tornadoes across the state, but this one, in particular, generated an EF4 tornado, which can have winds of up to 200 miles per hour. Unlike the rest of the tornadoes on this list, though, this one rolled through a populated town, putting thousands at risk. Many various buildings were damaged or destroyed, and the high school was nearly brought down as well. Of all the damage done, Henryville Junior Senior High School took the brunt of the force. Luckily, it struck just after the children had left for the day. No one in the high school was hurt, though unfortunately, the campus was almost torn down. But in a show of solidarity, the community and local government were able to get the school rebuilt within 6 months. Tornadoes may be some of nature's most wondrous events, but they are also one of nature's most deadly. So, whenever you see a video of a tornado tearing across the land, watch it with a proper mindset. It may be beautiful and wondrous, but there's a chance that you're also watching someone lose their life or their livelihood. To see more natural disasters caught on camera, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Universal Mysteries.